Boom, we're back live. Welcome back to Nick White Classics. I'm Nick, and it's time for some classic comics. This week, that's our theme. Yeah, this week on the channel, we're all about comic books. So today, I've got my long box and four short boxes of classic comic books from from all over actually, but the bulk of my collection comes from the 90s, like the early 90s, mid 90s. So I kind of glanced at these just before I went live, so I know what's in each box, but I know nobody out there knows what we got. So we're going to leave the long box out of it for now, and today we're going to go through one of these boxes. A, B, C, or D, but we're not going to pick a box just yet, but in a moment here, we're going to pick a box, and then we're going to dig through the crates, man. We're going to try to recreate that environment like, you know, back in the day when you would head over to the comic book shop, pop open a box and dig through, look at all the artwork, read all the covers, and check out all the artist name and the artwork, and enjoy our favorite characters from the 90s. So yeah, just take a look. I'm giving no clues here. All I'm saying is we got 4 boxes to choose from, A, B, C, and D. Go ahead and hit me in the chat right now. Which box should we do? A, B, C, or D? We're going to pop these open and go through the comics depending on which box we choose. And I'm going to say they're not all full, but there's a lot in each box. I see a C in the chat. I see 2 C's in the chat. Let's go with C. Brett coming through with a C. Appreciate it, man. As always, glad to have you on the feed, my friend. So this is a good choice. This is Heroes Reborn. So the box that we're going to go through tonight is all classic Marvel superheroes. So, so starting with issue half. So if you're familiar, does anybody out there know about the Heroes Reborn series? So this came out in the early to mid 90s. Okay. And let's see, let's get this situated. Essentially what they did is, and this entire series takes all the classic Marvel superheroes and reimagines them. So it's all Liefeld and Jim Lee doing the artwork. So it's amazing artwork on all these. And we take the classic characters, like we take Iron Man, Captain America, the Avengers, the Fantastic Four, the Incredible Hulk, and then we reimagine them. New origin stories, you know, new everything, like new costumes, new caricatures, like there's even new characters that were introduced too. So yeah, so that's Heroes Reborn. That's how I have it labeled, but it's not, I didn't always do a great job of labeling properly. So let's dig through here and see what we got. Okay, to start off, we have a pretty old school copy of an Iron Man comic. This is issue 203, this is 1965. Yeah, the year on here is 1965. You can see up top, this is an old school Iron Man comic. I'm sure I picked this up at a garage sale as a kid. Classic artwork. You see the call out here. One of these women wants to kill Iron Man. Classic. Okay, just going to go straight down the list. Next, we have Iron Man 208. This is from 1966. You got classic artwork of Iron Man. This is a classic Marvel comic here. Yes, so if Iron Man can't catch these missiles, it's the death of a nation. So pretty brutal. Cool, classic artwork, man. It doesn't get, better than that. Then we jump forward quite a lot here. This is we go from 208 to 231. This is Iron Man 231. This is a Marvel comic, I think from the late 80s. So you see who is the new Iron Man. You see Tony Stark back here with the Stark Enterprises shirt, and there's Iron Man there. So again, I don't recall what the storyline is here, but just appreciating these old comic books for the artwork, if nothing else. Then we go to issue 243, and this is 1989. You see Tony Stark shot. So on the cover of a Marvel comic, you got Tony Stark shot in the chest. That's pretty brutal. Okay, next we go to issue 258. This is for 1990. Iron Man in the Grip of Death. We have like a big robot hand. Oh, this is Armor Wars 2. So this is a pretty classic Marvel comic storyline. And then we get into issue 272. Jumping up a little bit here. This is 1991. Iron Man, the Dragon Seed Saga. No idea. All I know is you see Iron Man pretty beat up there. He's in space. Yeah, it looks brutal. Looks pretty awesome. Next, we go to issue 290, which has a sweet foil print cover. Gotta love that. Sweet artwork. Awesome foil logo on the top. Yeah, this villain on this one, I guess, is going to be Dragon Seed, but I'm not familiar with him, to be honest. This one, 48 pages of all-out action. He's back, the return of Tony Stark. And here you go. You can see we're celebrating 30 years of Iron Man here, 63 to 93. The giant hand one? Yeah, I'm not sure who that villain is. I don't know who that is. It could be a Sentinel maybe, or like a giant Doctor Doom. No idea. But yeah, I just love these old foil print comics. It's been like, yeah, quite a while since I read these, man. So it's hard to say. Next, we go to issue 295, an Infinity Crusade crossover. This is Iron Man, Silence, Death. So yeah, I think that's Death's head. And that's Iron Man in his crosshair. Or no, that's Technovore. There you go. Sweet artwork, though. Pretty brutal. Classic Marvel here from the early 90s. Here we go. We go to issue 301. Crash and Burn begins now. So it looks like they're starting a new storyline here. Not familiar with this artist, but man, I think this is amazing. The artwork on here is just super simplistic. I mean, in the best way. It's super simplistic in the best way. And look at this interpretation of the armor. It's really cool. Kind of like early 90s modern style. I really dig that. Then we go to 311. This is Hands of Mandarin. Unmasked by the Mandarin, starring Forceworks and War Machine. Awesome. So War Machine is obviously in this issue, and you have Iron Man being unmasked with Tony Stark's, true identity being revealed. Armor War, and then issue 313. Now, I do remember this storyline. So Caught Up in the Holiday Spirit. So this is along the time when Tony Stark's had a problem with alcohol. So Tony Stark's was struggling as an alcoholic, and there was an entire storyline there. And I do remember reading that series. So this is jumping up a little bit to 318. Once his mentor, now Molten Metal. So man, another more awesome artwork, man. It says Morgan 95 on the cover. I apologize for not knowing who that artist is, but man, the artwork there is just phenomenal. I'd love a poster of that cover. Okay, Iron Man 332. So now we jump way up. So this is Onslaught Impact 2. So special Heroes Reborn update inside. So Onslaught was a big, huge battle that spanned across all the Marvel universe. And that's probably why I picked this up. You can see Sentinel ascend. So you got Iron Man fighting the Sentinel. You got the Black Panther up there, Quicksilver. Everybody was coming together to fight Onslaught at the time. Which builds into the Heroes Reborn saga, which we're getting there. Here we go. This is our first Heroes Reborn issue. This is Iron Man 1 from November 1996. Look, I found a card as well. It's like foil cut, die cut foil stamp card from Wizard Comic, and I put it in there. So let me talk about Heroes Reborn. Like the whole series is the idea is that these primary superheroes in the Marvel universe went into a pocket universe, and So now we're in an alternate reality and we're rebirthing all these classic superheroes like Captain America and Iron Man, the Avengers, the Incredible Hulk, etc. And it's all the artwork is phenomenal. It's all by Jim Lee and Rob Liefeld. So it's all great stuff. This is number 2. I tried to pick up the first 4 issues of each series, but man, you know, like what's the cover price here was $2.75 or no, $1.95 each. So I don't know, it adds up quick. So that's the Incredible Hulk there, looking awesome. Here we have Iron Man number 3 by, again, is it Lobdell? Hopefully I'm saying that right, but I know it's Liefeld, it's Jim Lee, and it's phenomenal artwork. Then we go to Iron Man 4. Just looking at the artwork, just appreciating the like scratchy kind of art there. The Invincible Iron Man number 4. This is Heroes Reborn by Marvel. And then we jump way up to number 13. This is, you know, around the time that I was getting away from Marvel Comics and I was getting into like Dark Horse and Image Comics and kind of the more brooding, dark, violent, bloody kind of comics like the Pit and the Max and all the hardcore stuff. But yeah, this is issue number 13, and I think this is the last Iron Man comic I ever purchased. So there you go. Now, I'm going to put these Iron Man together for a second right here. And now we get into the Fantastic Four. So moving right along to another Marvel classic here. You have some really nice comics. Thanks, Brett. Appreciate it, man. I've been spent a lot of the 90s collecting and curating my comic book collection. I just been holding on to these things for so long. I just thought I'd share it with everybody. So anybody out there who enjoys classic comic books, make sure you hit me with the thumbs up, and thanks for tuning in. This is my oldest Fantastic Four comic, issue number 344. Looking for a year. Don't see a year on here, but the cover price is $1, so that was probably sometime in the 80s. Jumping up to issue 348, and that's 1990. So yeah, this might have been 89, and then this is 1990. So this is Fantastic Four. We got issue 348 with Ghost Rider, Hulk, Wolverine, and Spider-Man on the cover. And sometimes they would do that, man, in the 90s. They would mix up the team. So imagine this as a Fantastic Four team. Gray Hulk, which is the smart Hulk. And then you got Spider-Man, the web slinger. Enough said, bub. You got Wolverine down there, or Logan with the claws. And then you got Ghost Rider. That would be a sweet, sweet Fantastic Four variation. Moving on to 351. This is Fantastic Four 351. It says, Cubic, trapped by the power of Cubic. This is some kind of celestial villain that they're fighting here. Don't know much about it, but this is from 1992. Moving right along, we've got issue 355. This is a Thing getting hit with a crowbar, wrecked. So that must be the villain's name, I would guess. Or it's just, you know, the fact that the Thing is getting wrecked. But I'm not sure who did this artwork, but man, just take a moment to check that out. That is pretty awesome, that artwork. Just the simplicity of it all is just super beautiful. Cool stuff, man. Love it. All right, moving on. This is 356, Fantastic Four, War with the New Warriors. So this is internal fighting. They would always... I thought that the writers came up with good, you know, interesting storylines to get heroes to do some infighting sometimes. You know, the heroes would fight amongst themselves. This is from 1991. And then we're going to jump up to 384. So, Fantastic 3. 4 is crossed out. 3 is highlighted here. As the Fantastic Four's world crumbles around them, the Richards family faces ultimate threat. The enemy revealed. So, you can see in the corner here, we have the Thing with the steel mask. You have the Human Torch, and then you have the She-Hulk. And I think that's who made up the Fantastic 3. That was the team at that time. That's what I loved about Marvel Comics in the 90s, man. They would just like switch it up on you. Here we go. This is from 1996. This is issue 414. And this is Reed Richards' son. which if you watch the most recent Fantastic Four movie, you see him as a baby, you know. And actually, the latest Fantastic Four film, which I think is awesome. Has anybody out there seen that? Paul Walter Hauser plays the Mole Man, which, you know, we're from Saginaw. We both worked together at one point, so I think it's awesome. I celebrate his success. I love to see somebody from Saginaw winning. So, yeah, definitely check out Fantastic Four, the movie, if you haven't seen it. Moving right along, this is issue number 415 from 1996. You got Wonder Man on the cover, which I know the Wonder Man series just kicked off on Disney Plus. So definitely check that out. I've heard good things. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm looking forward to watching that series. Because I love the comics in the 90s, man. Moving on, we got Fantastic Four number 416 from 1996. And I'm sure that I picked this up because it was an Onslaught Phase 2. I was so into that series. The Onslaught storyline had me completely enthralled. I would buy and read every single comic or magazine that had anything to do with Onslaught. I was deep into that storyline, man. That's the thing about monthly publications like that, is they can modify the story as you go. So they can embellish on the story as it goes, rather than having like one book that you read start to finish and it's all encapsulated. With comic books, they're going to change it month after month depending on feedback from the audience. So I don't know. I always loved the medium of comics. Anyways, moving on. This is Fantastic Four. This is based on the cartoon series that they had, right? So Marvel Action Hour. I think in the 90s they had a Fantastic Four cartoon, and this is an issue based on that. So I group it with all my other Fantastic Four books. Then 2099. So for a while there, they were doing like these futuristic comics, and maybe they've come back around. I'm not sure, but all of Marvel Comics, they imagined what in 1996, they imagined what would their key characters or teams, what would those look like in 100 years? So they made Fantastic Four 2099. And this is issue number 6, published in 1996. And then we move on to Heroes Reborn. So this is Fantastic Four. At the same time that Iron Man got the reboot, Fantastic Four got the reboot too. And their origin story is a little bit different. I don't remember exactly what it was, but this is Brandon Chow, Jim Lee, Scott Williams. Just phenomenal artwork, man. I was eating this up as a kid. Could not get enough. This is in 1996. This is issue 2. You got Namor on the cover here, fighting against the Fantastic Four underwater. You got Jim Lee over here. Classic artwork. Issue number 3. Now we're bringing in Thor. And I always remember Jim Lee would draw these dudes with like the hugest muscles, man. And check it out. You got Fantastic Four, Namor. You got Thor back here and Captain America there, all super buff. The huge wings on Thor's head, that's a sure sign that Jim Lee drew it. Issue number 4. There you go. You got Black Panther with the Fantastic Four on there. The Thing smoking a cigar. Classic. We jump up to issue number 9, and I think I probably picked this one up just because it had Galactus on the cover. You know, just to see, again, this is a new universe that was being introduced within the Marvel universe, but it was like an alternate reality. So, you know, whenever they would introduce one of the classic characters into the new alternate reality, I had to check it out. They did a great job when they reinvented these characters of including like classic tidbits of classic storylines, and then also including like new information too. Here you go. This is World War III, which was a big crossover event. This issue number 13, I think, might have been the last of the Heroes Reborn. I know that they only kept it going for just over a year, and I want to say they were monthly, so issue 13 was probably the last that they published of this series. So then we move on to the Heroes Reborn Avengers books. First spectacular issue. This is November 96. Rob Liefeld. Awesome cover art, man. You got the Scarlet Witch. You got Thor, Captain America. No idea who this guy is. Sweet sword, though. That's issue 1. Start a new pile here. Issue number 2. Boom, there you go. Looking awesome, action-packed. I was somehow, man, Jim Lee and Rob Liefeld had a way of drawing Captain America that made me interested in reading their stories and their comics. I mean, otherwise, Captain America never really appealed to me until he got back up on the big screen, and then those stories, were some version of the stories that I loved to read as a kid. So, yeah, I'm not surprised that they were successful. Look at this action-packed cover, man. Love that. Hardcore. Issue number 4, we got Hulk on the cover. So I'm not sure that Hulk did a reboot during the Heroes Reborn, but he was featured in a lot of the other comics. So it's like you still got to see a reimagined version of the Hulk. So he has this long hair, like smooth skin, huge muscles. And there it is, issue 13. That's World War III, Part 2, 4. So this is, I think, the last in the series. And you can see, interestingly, you can see the Wildcats on here, right? That's Ripclaw. These are characters from Jim Lee's... Oh, man, what the hell is the name of it? Jim Lee had his own publishing company after he left Marvel, and he created these characters, Ripclaw and so on, this entire team of Wildcats, which they had an animated series of the Wildcats on Fox, I think, too. But it's interesting to see that, that those characters were here in the Avengers comics. That's awesome. Then we go to my oldest Captain America book, which is issue number 384 from 1991. Got Captain America and Iceman on the cover. Attack of the Ice Worm, which looks interesting. Again, more amazing artwork here. Just going to make some room. Boom. Next we have Captain America issue 387, At the Mercy of Modem. And yeah, let's see. Anybody watch the... Man, what is the Marvel film that has this character in it? Was it She-Hulk? Was it the She-Hulk series that had the floating head dude? I can't remember. But yeah, they've definitely made a live action part of the MCU version of this character. I'm sure they're going to eat me in the comments. I don't remember his name or what series he appeared in, but there you have it. Captain America 396 and the Menace of the Black Wing, alone against the all-new Jack-O-Lantern. So this is from 1991, and I'm sure I picked it up because you got a Jack-O-Lantern on front. I've always been a Halloween fan, so if I see any of that stuff on the cover, I would definitely pick it up. So is anyone ready for Blistic? Blistic. That's like the chapstick brand, but also an enemy or a villain in the Captain America series. Introducing one of the biggest nut jobs Cap has ever faced. Blistic. Brutal. Yeah, man, I see Hero mentioned in the comments. I want to connect with him and do a Tetris feed sooner or later. Anyway, so this is a comic book, Captain America comic book that was given out for free at Farmer Jack's, which is a supermarket near me when I was a kid in the 90s, early 90s, where Captain America is fighting against drugs. So I don't think that this holds a lot of value, so I don't mind flipping through this just so you can see some of the inside artwork. This was from 1992. Man, just to go to the drugstore to pick up a prescription or whatever with my parents and then get a free comic book out of the deal. That was amazing. Keep me busy just reading it and then reading it again. I think going back through and checking out the artwork and admiring all that. So, yeah, cool stuff. A bunch of coupons. Obviously, I was never cutting out the coupons, man. Oh, dude, love it. Check out this old soda ad. Get the old school 7-Up, Hawaiian Punch, Canadian Dry, RC Cola, Diet Right Cola, and Sunkissed. Classic, man. Back in the 90s, comics were everywhere. Boom. There you go. A&P, Captain America comics. Okay, then we go on to the regular series, issue number 393, Combat Over the Capitol. This is an old school comic. Love the artwork. It's obviously going to be an action-packed Diet Right? Yeah, Diet Right Cola. It's like, yeah, it was like it was sold at that pharmacy or whatever, so that's why it was featured on the ad. So yeah, so this is Captain America issue number 436. So we jump ahead quite a ways. Looks like he was bit by a rattlesnake. Says finished. But of course we know he did not die. This is issue 425. Fighting Chance Book 1. This is awesome. I don't know if you can see this, but this is totally embossed. So you have depth on, embossed onto the covers, like stamped on. And then you also have some reflective foil prints in all the reds. This is an awesome one. Very collectible. Love it. Then we have 421. So Captain America versus Nomad for the life of the Slug. So I can only presume this dude is a slug. And this must be Nomad. Yeah, Marvel was not scared to put guns in their comics back in the day. Okay, so then we move. Looks like we're getting just into some random assorted comics at this point, but that's fine. We got half a box left. Hopefully you're still with me. Thanks for tuning in to Nick White Classics. Appreciate you. Shouts out to the classic crew. Appreciate you as always. This is Avengers West Coast. So Captain America and She-Hulk have found the Scarlet Witch. So again, classic characters. This is 1989. She-Hulk, Captain America, and the Scarlet Witch right here. Then we got Avengers West Coast, number 49 from 1989. Just classic, man. Look at this team up here. I don't even know who those characters are. This like large lady, and this almost looks like Reed Richards or Mr. Fantastic, the way they're stretching, but I'm not sure that it is. You got Hawkeye with the classic mask on. I don't know, this is like a pterodactyl chick. We got the Vision right here, the all-white version of Vision. Absolutely classic. Yeah, good stuff. There's Wonder Man right here. That's the... Is it the Wasp? Yeah, the Wasp. Next, we got Avengers West Coast. Looks like this is a 50-year anniversary of Marvel Comics from 1991. This is the annual. Which you see, you got Spider-Woman, Iron Man, Scarlet Witch, Wonder Man, and then you have Hawkeye buried alive. Awesome cover here. Will we do this every day this week? Good question. If we're gonna try, okay? So I'll say in addition to the comic books, we have some gameplay that we're gonna do. So go over to the community section of the YouTube page and cast your vote for which Batman game we should play on the Sega Genesis. And then I'm also gonna do a 2-player Atari day. So I think tomorrow night, Lewis is coming over. We're gonna play some 2-player games on Atari. And then I'm also going to be playing Batman on the Sega Genesis. But aside from that, yeah, we're digging through crates this week, man. We're doing all comic book related content this week. So, all right. So this is annual Avengers issue 22. And you can see it's in it comes with a trading card. And it's totally still unopened in the package. Sometimes I would buy... When these came shipped in a package like this, I would buy 2. Bloody Mary. I would buy 2 and keep 1 in the package. Just because it's cooler that way, and it would be kind of worth more money too. I'm not sure how much these are worth anymore, to be perfectly honest, but that's okay. Never really collected them for money, just collected them for fun. Moving on, Avengers West Coast, issue number 76. So yeah, if you're enjoying the comic book content, definitely let me know. Hit me up in the comments. Chime into the community section, man. I want to hear from you, Brett. I want to hear from everybody who tunes in, whether live or on the replay. Are you into the comic book content? If so, I'll do more of it. Looks like we're into the original Avengers series here. So this is issue 4. Avengers West Coast. Looks like they're intermixed a little bit. This is 101. We got Spider-Woman, Gambit, Beast, Captain America. You see War Machine on the cover. So this is again what I'm talking about, where Marvel would just take all these different superheroes and mix them up, all these B characters, right? And put them on teams together. And I always love that. It always, like, as a reader, it would sell comics, man. That's how they would sell books. It's like, wait a second, is that the Black Widow? Oh, yeah, I need to get this book. Is that Hercules? Captain America? Who's this blue dude? I got to check it out. It's funny, it almost looks like a luchador mask on this superhero down here. Yeah, that's my guy Gambit. Yes, hell yeah. Okay, Earth's Mightiest Heroes, Avengers 401. So this is jumping forward to the point where, I don't think I'm pretty sure that I stopped reading Avengers comics after this. You see, I picked this up because it had something to do with Onslaught. That's Quicksilver, that's Rogue, that's Vision, that's Thor, and that's Magneto. So yeah, Onslaught had a lot to do with Magneto, and you can see this is like phase 1 of that storyline. So then we go phase 2 of the Onslaught story in Avengers issue number 402, and this cover is rad. It looks painted. There's beautiful artwork here. If you're just tuning in, we are going through classic comic books today. This is issue number 321 of the Avengers. You got guns on the cover like it's nothing. AKs and shit. Marvel used to be different back in the day. All right, Avengers, issue number 325. This is a cool werewolf. And I really can't identify too many of these characters. There's another werewolf. I see Cap. Cap, did you invite these people? Don't look at me, Quasar. It's series party. So that's that. I have no idea who most of those people are. Issue 328, The Origin of the Man Called Rage. It's Avengers comic. Looks awesome. Again, looks like a luchador mask to me. You got She-Hulk down there, Captain America, Iron Man, the Mighty Thor. Avengers West Coast, number 69, Hawkeye versus the U.S. Agent. This is a classic matchup. Look at that brutal punch. Okay, randomly, we've got an issue of the Domino comic, issue number 2, fighting Lady Deathstrike. I think this is a limited series that came out. You could tell by like the 3D X up top. This is definitely the mid-90s. Oh yeah, 1996. They were just figuring out how to do 3D back in that time. Anyways, Iron Man 1989. Yeah, this one's kind of banged up and in no bag, so I'll flip through here just a little bit. You can see some of that fresh-ass art. See, some of these that are not in bags, I think I will go back through, and reread. Man, check out this old ad for a D&D book. That's classic. Back cover shit. Yeah, U.S. Agent, man. He's like there you go. Although I think that's Hawkeye, isn't it? Oh, Hawkeye versus the U.S. Agent right there. So I think they have a version of him in the film series, right? If I'm not mistaken. I'm not positive. I kind of lost track of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, to be honest. Okay, so randomly a Cable comic. This is Flashback. So this is, you can see right here, issue number -1. So this is like a throwback comic that they did in the mid-90s. They did every one of their comic books, they released a -1 flashback issue. And, it was a good marketing ploy because I bought them all. All right, so here we have a crossover of Star Wars and X-Men. Paramount Comics and Marvel Comics together. Totally awesome. You got, you got this Spock, Picard, or, I don't know. I know that's Spock for sure. And then you got your man Gambit is there. They got the classic Starship Enterprise, Wolverine, the Beast, Storm, Bishop, Jean Grey. Classic right here. I'm going to flip through this too. Man, I was loving this time period, man. Whenever they were publishing these comics with the glossy pages, I just love this. Look at how rich the colors are and the artwork. So dope. Classic, man. We got another crossover here. We got X-Force and the Youngbloods. Oh, and I have a Youngbloods card here from a Wizard comic. So you can see this is where Image Comics and Marvel Comics joined together to publish a comic book where their characters are together in a storyline of some sort. Same here with Image and Marvel. We got Gen 13 with Generation X. Generation X, those guys are mutants, of course. Gen 13, I'm not sure how to describe them, man. Remember those guys from the 90s? All right. So, next we have fairly random assortment. So I'm going to flip through these kind of quick. This is Tor #1 by DC Comics. The cover price is 25 cents. So I would venture to guess that this is from... I don't want to open it up, but I would venture to guess that this is from the 60s. They did a lot of, like, Conan was big and Hercules and that stuff. So these sort of barbarian comics were big back in the days, right? So it says Tor, the caveman, faces the eternal battle for existence. So a caveman comic. And this stuff was super fascinating to me as a kid. These old DC comics were my favorite, man. Moving on, this is Red Sonja #1, 25 cents on the cover. Another Marvel comic. So this is probably from the 60s at some point. This goes... Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it, man. Happy to share my collection with everybody. All this week on the channel, I'm going live at 8 p.m. Eastern, and I'm sharing my comic books and comic book related video games as well. So definitely subscribe to the channel. Hit me with the thumbs up if you're into this kind of thing. Next, we have... This is another run of the Red Sonja series, She-Devil with a Sword. I was into that, man. These are a little behind my time, but whenever I saw these at a garage sale or something, I would definitely pick them up. Just Conan comics, too. I got a bunch of those around somewhere as well. Okay, and then we move into Rom, and I thought this was interesting. So I have, this is by Marvel Comics, Rom, the Space Knight, issue #1. Cover price is 40 cents, so this is sometime in the 70s. It ran 75 issues. So I have issue #1 and issue 75. So this is the final issue. So I have the very first issue and the very final issue of Rom. So, yeah. There you go. Okay, and this is Captain America. This is the Heroes Reborn, issue #13. Looks like I didn't collect 1 through 4, but I got 13 of this one. Cool. I have a short run here of Earth X, which is all painted by the artist Alex Ross. He did a lot of fantastic work for the Kingdom Come storyline in DC Comics. And then, I think after enough, interest from Marvel fanboys, he ended up doing a series called Earth X for Marvel, where he imagined every classic Marvel character in kind of like a, oh man, like, I don't know what to call it, like a postmodern kind of hyper-realistic style. I mean, his artwork, the paintings of his artwork is just so phenomenal, man. I would pop them open, but I'm scared to. I will maybe someday, but for now I'm going to leave them bagged up. This is issue 3. Just beautiful paintings. Every frame is painted too, not just the covers. Ooh, this one's not in a sleeve, so we're going to flip it open. Earth X #5. American Pie advertised on the inside. See, there's no painting on the inside. I lied. They're inks, standard inks. But super cool style. Super stylized with the thick lines. Very dark. Brooding concepts. There we go. We got a Spider-Man, the Web Slinger 1 Spider-Man guitar right there, Les Paul. Very cool. Ooh, Game Boy Color advertisement on the back. That's dope. Set that one aside because that's too cool. Next, we got Earth X, again with the Alex Ross paintings on the front. Okay, another one without a sleeve. We're in luck. Is that the reimagining of the Incredible Hulk, I think, maybe? Yeah, dude. Just look at this. Imagine all of Marvel's characters being reimagined in this super dark and gritty universe. So cool, man. It makes me want to go back and reread this. Published in 1999. Here you see an ad for Final Fantasy VIII for the PlayStation 1. And the Incredible Hulk in a Got Milk ad. Earth X number 8. There's Spider-Man on the cover, and I can't believe that this one's open too. What an ad there. I don't know if you can see that. You got Punisher in here. Some crazy iteration of Spider-Man with all the red lines. Yeah, look at the Incredible Hulk because he's a beast. Looks like a giant green baby, dude. Then we get to a standard Mysterio. Okay, here we go, back to the action. There's Colossus, Spider-Man. Awesome. Oh, Monday Night Nitro playset advertised there. Awesome. Okay, there you go. Earth X, number 9. Number 11. Man, I think it's awesome that I have so many that are not in bags, because I'm glad we get to kind of flip through these. Looks like we have a mini story in the middle of this comic. And then we get back to the real story. And then an ad for the Age of Apocalypse, which was one of my favorite Marvel comic storylines of all time. Earth X number 12, we got Silver Surfer on the cover. A lot of these, man, I think I just collected only because I love the artwork. Don't even really remember these stories. I need to go back and reread them. Cool. This is like some promo that has the sketch work. Amazing. All right, then we get back into Red Sonja. This is classic. Good memories indeed. Here we go. This is Red Sonja number 1 and a 2-issue limited series. 75-cent cover. This is probably sometime in the 70s. Issue 1. And, oh, you can see, there's Conan on the cover, and that's Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's based on the Conan from the film. Actually, this Red Sonja might be based on the film as well. There's issue 2 of 2. Then we move on to Spider-Girl. So sometime in the 90s, Marvel, 1998, Marvel Comics did a side storyline called Marvel Comics 2. So they did an alternate universe where they reimagined new characters, including Spider-Girl. So I definitely picked this up. This is issue number 1, Spider-Girl number 2. So they reimagined all their characters, right? So here you got Spider-Girl, you see Daredevil with the fangs, and then Bedeviled, some kind of, new enemy. Kind of cool in concept, right? You see the different reimagining of these classic characters. Check out the Fantastic Four. They got the Thing with the metal arm. Looks like a Kroll or whatever. And they're actually the Fantastic Five. Yeah. So they reimagined all these classic characters, and I've definitely always picked up anything that Marvel was spitting out just because I was a huge fan. All right, so then we move into Altered Image. This is issue number 1, and this is kind of like a spoof series, I believe. So you got all these classic Image characters. So you got Witchblade and the Max. We got Spawn and Savage Dragon. And this is where it was kind of like Mad Magazine, just for their own characters, if I remember correctly. Here's another one. It looks like, oh man, it looks like their characters are coming together. So yeah, that's right. Okay, it's coming back to me. It's been a while, man. This is issue number 2. The storyline here is all the comics within the Imageverse sort of had a timeline or like a universe implode, and then their characters would combine. So you see Spawn combined with this dude, the Max with Savage Dragon, etc. So as the storyline moves on, we got these awesome reinventing, combining of characters, you know, I don't know, fun times. I don't remember it super well. I have to go back and reread that at some point. So then, if you know the story of Captain America and Rob Liefeld, this is our last stack of comics we're going to review today. So I have a pretty good story here for these ones. This is the Fighting American. So Rob Liefeld was the artist for Captain America, and he reinvented Captain America, and he brought him back to popularity for the first time in forever, like in decades, right? And then Marvel fired him, so he went and started his own character. In order to reuse all the artwork that he had of Captain America, he just gave it slightly different adjustments and called it the Fighting American. And he published these comics. You can see we got the foil stamp on the cover, and you know I'm a mark for those. Here you go, issue number 1. Here's an alternate cover. Rob Liefeld, and you could see right away, obviously, it's Captain America. This is by Awesome Comics. Character created by Rob Liefeld just out of spite, just because Marvel fired him. So he wanted to do something with all the artwork he had in the late 90s of Captain America. So he just modified it and published a new series. I'm sure he changed the stories and stuff like that, but you can see that's practically the Red Skull, just with gray. So it's almost like a reimagining of the character by the same artist who popularized the character. So, and you can see that's like the version of Bucky O'Hare that was popular in Liefeld's series, was a female version of Bucky. So there you go. You have like a kind of a cartoon style on this artwork there. Then we have like a Japanese style cover. And here it is, issue number 3. This is our final comic, Fighting America, Rob Liefeld. So what'd you think, man? This is a classic comic episode all week long. We're going to be going live around 8 p.m. Eastern and doing streams as I go through 1, 2, 3 more boxes of classic comics. Let me know what you think. And definitely do me a favor, head over to the community section of the YouTube page and cast your vote. Which comic book themed video game should I play next? We got 2 up there. There's a poll going, and it looks pretty close right now. Last I checked, we need more people to get out there and vote. If you enjoyed the stream, definitely hit me up in the comments and or in the community section. Let me know what you liked about it. What can I do differently next time? I know I love classic comics, and I hope you do too. Thanks so much for tuning in. Everybody who tuned in, definitely consider you part of the classic crew, so much respect. Appreciate you joining it. Until next time, keep supporting the classics, stay cool, and we'll see you tomorrow at 8. Later.